What's up guys, Ninjago Studios here, and I know you know how these collection videos normally go, but this year, we are changing things up. That's right, it's not going to be one video, because last time I did one it was approaching an hour, and that is just a lot to watch. So this time I'm splitting it up into 3 segments. And today, we're going to go with the 3rd segment. Alright, so this is what we're going to be reviewing today, and you can see there are 2 separate sections. We've got this little one with special cases that have been throughout the years, not just from these years over here, but these years over here are, we got Sons of Garmadon, Hunted, the Dragon Masters, Legacy, Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu, we got the Forbidden Spinjitzu original suits and the specialty FS suits. We have the Digi Ninja from Prime Empire and the Ninja Avatars from Prime Empire, and then we have Legacy 2 over here, of which there are only 3. And then we got, of course, the special cases over here. So, let's get into it. Alright, so here we have the Sons of Garmadon suits. Now, these are one of my personal favorites, and I really liked how they looked in the show, especially, because you can see each of them has like a unique little texture pattern on them. It's probably most obvious on Zane, you can see that. You can see it on Nia too, but all of them have that, and in the show, that was really prominent on their arms and all of the legs and everything, so I really thought that was cool. And of course, this also uses the new movie masks. But if you notice, there's a little bit of a difference. The color of the symbol, like Lloyd has gold, Kai has orange this time, white for Jay, orange for Cole. They have a specialized color of their symbol, which is very cool. And in particular, I'd like to point out the fact that they do look something like their movie suits. You can see Kai and Nia look very similar, but Nia also does have the skirt like in the movie. Zane has a very similar design to his movie suit. Cole retains the sleeveless stuff from his movie suit. Jay has the straps and everything, and Lloyd's pretty much looks like a color-swapped version if you swapped green and black with his movie suit, which is pretty cool, and I like the gray on Lloyd a bit too. But let's show you what's under the helmets, because, not helmets, masks, but there's some, the movie faces, you can see in the last video. There we go, there's Lloyd's first face, just the normal Lloyd face that we got for years, and I'm just showing you these now so I don't have to go back and keep showing you guys later, because they do reuse these faces for a majority of the ones that I'm going to show you. There's Kai's, he's got the bandage on top like in the movie. There's Jay, little grumpy face right there. For Cole, I like Cole's suit for this one a lot, I like the orange details. There's Cole's face. Zane actually got a new face print for this year, so he is not the same as the movie one. There it is, looks very cool. And then for Nia, she is also using her movie design. You can see little kind of pouty looking grumpy face right there, and those are the base faces for all these ninja. And then on the other side, of course, you can see there's Lloyd's, much happier. Kai, much happier. Jay, much happier. Similar mouth shape for these 3. I always thought that was interesting. For Cole, not as happy as the other guys, but looks pretty good still. Zane, very interesting case. We have the little outlet on the back of his head that we see on other Nindroids, so it's pretty cool to have back there, plus some vents. It looks pretty detailed. And then for Nia, Nia's is very similar. She's just smiling now instead of frowning, but it's a very similar face design too. And then you can also see that the ninja are using their Skybound armor, the Airjitsu suit armor, in gunmetal gray, which I think is pretty interesting. I like the look a lot, and I really like that all of them have the same color. It really gives a great sense of unity for these suits. For our second wave of suits, we have the Hunted suits, and if you notice, the 4 original ninja, these 4, actually are just modified versions of their last suit, which I just think is super cool. We didn't really get something too much like that again until a little bit later, but those actually aren't out yet. The Season 13 suits look like modified versions of the Season 11 suits, so we will see that again, but not in this video. But just for an example, you can see Zane's. Look, he's got the more metal on top of his armor. For Kai's, armor is torn open with some chainmail put over it. Looks very cool. For Cole's, one of his sleeves, or not sleeves, little shoulder straps was ripped off, and everything's a little more damaged. And then for Jay, he's got a whole new set of black armor, and his straps are patched up in a different way, and his belt is a different color. So that's the comparison between those, just so you can see. And then for Nia and Lloyd, if you remember, those two were stuck in Ninjago, while these four were in the first realm. So they have new suits. They look a little bit more rugged, like they're kind of scrapped together as the ninja are leading the resistance, which I think is very, very cool. But yeah, you can see that Lloyd has more of a focus on armor. Looks very armored in this suit, and that's why it's one of my favorite Lloyd suits. And then for Nia, just a little more pockets and stuff. Little blue on this suit. This is a very, very gray suit. The blue is very minimal, just like the last one, which is pretty interesting. And then on this side, all the way over here, yes, that is Teen Wu. So Teen Wu is Sensei Wu, of course, was turned into a baby, and then this is him when he's a teenager in the first realm. So he's wearing Dragon Master garb, actually, which was the disguise for him and Cole. But you can see his beard and his stubble's beginning to grow back. And he's got these nice white hair. That's actually a remolding of Cole's hairpiece from the Ninjago movie. You can see that very nice gold headband in there. It's dual molded. It's also got a little bit of a man bun sticking off the back with more dual molding very, very, very precisely in there, which I like so much. And if you notice, for all the ninjas' masks, they have a black mask on the bottom now to differentiate from the solid colored one on the bottom of the last suits. And I already showed you guys all the faces last time, but here are the back prints. I showed you Lloyd's already. Kai's continues the strap around. Jay's continues his pockets and stuff. Cole's, you can see the rip and a little scratch on there. Zane, you can see more of his straps. Nia, I showed you, and then Wu just has some more Dragon Master stuff on the back. But yeah, Wu's face print was also new. There we go. And then there's the other one, a little bit happier. Alright, these next suits are very underrated in my opinion, and you can see that Lloyd and Nia are missing, and that is because these are only for the people that were stuck in the first realm. These are the Dragon Master suits, and they unfortunately never appeared in the show, but I really, really, really like their design. So let's get into it. But if you look closely, the four original ninja all have the same leg print, which is something LEGO has been doing to kind of like save on cost. They've done it before, and it makes sense. They did it for the movie Spinjitzu sets / Sons of Garmadon ones, which I guess makes sense. And then if you see the ninja all have straps like an air suit, like you see those. I like that quite a bit. Zane maintains a little bit of blue in his, right there on the collar. Cole's got the orange. Jay's got a little bit of white. Kai's all red. And they do have the masks back from the first wave from Sons of Garmadon. And I like the colors on the arms, too, for Cole with the dark brown ones, and for Zane with the silver ones. But also, Teen Wu received a Dragon Master suit. And this one's very cool, because we finally got this new mask part in gold, which is just awesome. And he's also got gold hands, white arms, and some really, really nice printing. He, of course, doesn't use the same leg printing as the rest, because that is gold. On his back, you can see a nice little dragon symbol. For the rest of them, they all have the dragon symbol on a little piece of armor on their back. There you go. Very cool, and I think these are really unique, and they definitely are one of my favorites. Gone are the days of the movie mask. This is the new ninja mask, and that was introduced in 2019 for Legacy. And yes, these are Legacy suits, so they do appear in March the Oni, but they are intended to represent just very generic versions of the ninja. That's so they can be used in situations in the past that can appear in like Cole's Earth Driller or like Kai and Zane's vehicles from the 2012 wave, but they made new versions of those sets under the Legacy brand, and that's what these suits are for. So you see Wu's actually is just a revamping of the old suit that he had in 2011. So I think these are very cool. I like the new mask mold. I remember when this was revealed, I thought it was way too big. I didn't like the little chin dip down there, and I didn't like how big the headband was. But it's grown on me quite a bit, and a lot of that is due to these suits. These are some really, really nice suits. They're very consistent with each other. I think they have just the right amount of detail, except for maybe Kai's is a little bit lacking. But besides that, I like all of them. And all the ninja have the same face prints as before, except Zane, of course, was given this one instead of his silver one, because back in the day with the reflection of what these suits were supposed to be for Legacy, he didn't have a metal head. So that is Legacy Zane. And one thing that I was a little bit disappointed with is that Cole has a tiny bit of orange on there, but not enough to warrant it, I feel. I feel like the orange is just there and it's not very good. But Cole's is definitely my least favorite suit of this wave as well, because he has this weird scale mail under his torso. You can see a little bit in the reflection. You can see it more, yeah, right there, unlike his neck. I think his V-neck goes like way too low, and the scale mail doesn't really work for me. But besides that, I think these are really, really nice suits. I like Nia's. I love all the dragon detailing on them too, reminiscent of the DX suits, it feels like. And on the back, you can see they also have some cool detailing. It looks very, very nice with the dragon tail on them. And then their kanji symbol in the center. Cole's is a circle. It loops out other sides like that. Zane's is in blue. And then there's Nia's. And you can also see that these suits have these really, really nice tails descending from the back of the mask. And I like that quite a bit, but it makes it so you can't put the classic Ninja DX armor or the other armor from Skybound under these, which is a little bit disappointing to me. It makes customization a little bit less possible, which I'm not a huge fan of. But overall, I think these suits do what they intended to do, and they're pretty good. So now we have the secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu suits, and these are what I perceive to be, based on leaks, the new standard suits that it looks like future suits will just be modifications of, which I am definitely fine with, because these suits are really, really great in my opinion, especially Nia's. I like the balance of having a lot of blue on the torso, and the blue headband really makes the blue prominent, which I think is always important. Zane has blue hands, which always makes me happy. I like that. He's got the same face print as from the Sons of Garmadon wave. Blue belt as well. Cole's got orange again, just like how the blue was emphasized on Nia. The orange emphasis on Cole makes me very happy. Jay's got a little bit yellow in the torso, which is always a good detail on Jay. And the yellow symbol at the top. Kai has like some tan print on his torso and on his legs, and then a little yellow print up there, which is awesome. I love the tan on Kai. I didn't think that would be cool, but it is. And then Lloyd, of course, has no gloves. I like the hands a lot. I don't know. I was wary on it at first, but the yellow hands is very cool to me now. And then, of course, he's got the brown arm, the dark brown one, which I like quite a bit as well. And the straps. Lloyd's just is a very cool suit to me. And if you also noticed, the ninja have a different armor piece. A new armor piece was introduced just for this suit. And that's because, like I said, this little tassel on the back fits in there. In this little notch within the armor. So it looks really, really cool on there. Of course, as you can see, the armor can hold one sword behind their back, which I like a lot. And here's how all that looks. I like Cole's orange tassel quite a bit. Here's Zane's, and then Nia. So that is the new armor piece. And if you look closely as well, you can see that there is a little shuriken printed on top, or molded into it on top. So that's very nice. And it's all in gunmetal. So the last thing is that Sensei Wu here is very different. This is the biggest change we saw in Sensei probably ever, or at least since he was turned into a baby. But in the actual old Sensei Wu, I think this is the biggest departure. So we have now, look at that, a dark tan hat. Beautiful. I like that quite a bit. I think it fits him. And also, Wu's got a cape now. Yes, he has an extra fuzzy little cape with a little serrated edge. You can see. Looks very, very cool. And under the cape, little dragon symbol on the back, and a red belt. And then Wu also finally has the hair going down the back of his head, just like his father had, which I think is pretty cool. And this was the first time since the movie that we got a new face print for Old Wu, which is very, very interesting, and I'll show that to you now. I remember when this was revealed, nobody thought this was Wu, because to me, still, this doesn't really look like Sensei Wu. Sorry, it's a little tough to get off. I haven't taken this head off in a long time. But that's what it looks like. That does not look like Sensei Wu. It doesn't really even have a mustache like the old face prints used to have. But actually, as I thought about it more, I realized that it didn't really matter, because the beard piece creates the mustache. It creates all the facial hair that we need to have, so it doesn't matter if his face is not printed with it, because nothing's different. Also, I like how his eyebrows are very similar shape to the new Garmadons now, and he's got more of the traditional Ninjago styled eyebrows as they've come to be now, which I like quite a bit. So this new Wu was definitely a welcome addition for me. Alright, now here we have a little bit of a departure. We haven't seen something like this before, where all the suits are the same as the last ones, except for the mask. But this is not the same mask for each of the ninja. All of them have their own unique, dual-molded, partially transparent forbidden Spinjitzu masks, which is what these suits are, and I think these are just awesome. It's like flames coming off of the back of the ninja's mask. You probably see it best on Jay. That's the biggest contrast between the color of the mask and the color of the flames. You can see it on Zane's very well too. I'll turn him to the side so you can see what that molding looks like. Looks very, very, very nice. The only ones that I don't really like are Cole and Nia, which are normally my favorite color schemes of the ninja, except Cole's is of course a black mask, so the orange flame doesn't show up too well. A little disappointing there. And then Nia, of course, has a dark gray mask, so the blue doesn't show up as well there either. And then also Kai's is not the same, like it doesn't not show up, but it's pretty much the same exact color as his mask, so it looks alright. But Jay's and Zane's are probably my favorite for these. I like them quite a bit, and I'll just turn all these guys around. You can see all the flames coming off the back of their mask. Looks very cool, very unique, and I'm glad we have these. But this was not the last Forbidden Spinjitzu figures that we got, because we also, if you remember, got specialized ones. These are the specialized Forbidden Spinjitzu suits. So these are really unique, and they also have something about past Ninjago suits that I liked quite a bit, and that's the pairing of each ninja for their accent color. So you can see what I mean just by looking at them. There are 2 silver ones and 2 gold ones, and I like that quite a bit. Of course, their hand color stays the same as well, so Zane's got the blue hands again, if you notice right there, and the same leg print as his original suit. Jay, Kai, Zane also have the same leg prints as their original suits, but their torso looks like it's being torn up by energy, and you can see gold print on Lloyd's. Looks very cool. And on Kai's also has a gold highlight, looks very awesome. Jay, silver, and then Zane. Also, silver highlight on their torsos. Very cool. And then, of course, the masks are a little bit better now because they're molded on silver and gold, which are both relatively light colored. So the specialized color for the flame stands out a little bit more. Probably stands out the least on Zane's here, but all the other ones look really, really great. And also, the ninja have unique double-sided face prints for this wave. So here is Zane's. You can see, wow, he's got ice bursting out of his eyes. Looks awesome. And on the other side, we have a normal, smiling Zane face. That just makes me so happy. I wish we could get a yellow one too. But this one is still really, really good, smiling Zane. I like it. For Jay, you can see, very similar thing. Lightning shooting out of his eyes like that. Angry face. And then on the other side, a nice little innocent happy Jay, which is cool. And then we have Kai, of course, similar pattern, fire shooting out of his eyes, super angry mouth, and an innocent little happy Kai. A little bit grumpy there, maybe, or not grumpy, a little bit determined. And for Lloyd's also, another very similar little smirk. But from the front, Lloyd has energy shooting out of his eyes, and he's not gritting his teeth, he's just a little bit angry there. So I like these suits a lot. It was cool that we got specialized ones, but my least favorite thing is that we're missing Ninja. Come on, look at that. We're missing Cole, we're missing Nia. I think Cole and Nia's suits would have been really, really cool for this, and they could have maybe used gunmetal as their accent if they wanted to retain the 2 gold, 2 silver. They could have done 2 gunmetal, which would have worked really cool for them. But unfortunately, we did not get them. And it looks like that's going to be the continuation for a lot of the special small sets. This is a problem Ninjago's hitting right now because they're not doing full ninja waves for the specialized sets like Forbidden Spinjitzu or for the arcade pods, which you'll see in just a second. They're only doing a few of the ninjas, so we're left with partial teams of the ninja, which is pretty disappointing to me. But I do still like these suits for what they are, and I hope maybe somewhere down the line, like how we got Airjitsu Lloyd and Airjitsu Nia in a separate set, we might get these 2 missing ninjas somewhere in a set down the line. I hope. But here's the next suits. These are the Prime Empire suits, and these are pretty special because we did, in fact, as you can see, get a new mask mold and new armor mold. The armor mold holds up this clip, which holds up the ninja's life bar, which, because they are in a video game, they will need. And they look really, really nice in front of this lit up background. You can see the blue printing on them, which I like quite a bit. But yeah, so the armor holds that up. I'll show you how that's done later. And then also, there's a new mask with the VR type thing on it, and the ninja also have pixelated eyes on the inside, which is awesome. It shows how they have like little digital masks within the game. And also the design for these is just quite different because they have these little glowing blue circles all over the suits, which is very unique. Kai's and Jay's are quite similar in terms of their suit design. It looks like they just changed a little bit of the white graphic design on this side, and then the colors, so they have very similar suits there. And as you can see, Nia has a different color. She has light azure for her highlight instead of the dark azure like she had before, which is quite interesting to me, and I think that's pretty good, because beforehand we would see that Zane had details in the same dark azure that Nia had the same details in, and I didn't think that was the best idea. So now Nia has like her little own unique shade of blue, which I hope they maintain for the future, because it definitely gives Nia a little bit more definition as a ninja. You can see, again, just like the Legacy suit, Cole has orange on his belt, but nowhere else, which again is a little bit disappointing, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so the new armor piece is unique. It has a little place for the pin to fit in there, which holds up the life bar, which is very cool, and also space to hold 2 swords. So that's a very, very multi-purpose armor right there, and I also like the way it looks on the side. You can see it's got those nice shoulder pads. And I like the white highlights on these ninja for the most part. It looks pretty good. And then on the back, you just see they all have the same little armor piece. And how they look from the back, I like the white arm on Kai and Jay. And then Lloyd also has mint green now. So you can see his arm has mint green, and there's some mint green printing. I think that looks really, really cool. I like it quite a bit, and I think it fits Lloyd well. And I like that the ninja have new accent colors that we hadn't really seen before in Lloyd and Nia. But of course, Zane is absent. That's because Zane's programming forbids him from entering Prime Empire. But we have seen some renders of a Zane digisuit, but I don't know if we'll ever get that. I think that'd be another great figure for a potential Ninjago collectible minifigure series, just to fill in the gaps like that. Very glaring gap right there. But besides these, the ninja also have new face prints. Here's what Nia's looks like underneath. Look at that. You can see her lips just under the mask, little digital mask. Cole's got an angry face. Jay has a little bit of a frown, and as you can see, they all have unique mouth prints under these. They could have very easily just reused a print for all the boy ninja and just made them all look the same, but they look quite different. They all have just a little bit of differentiation between the mouth, which I think is very cool. And also on the other side, we got another exclusive face print for these ninja. Lloyd's is very similar to his Forbidden Spinjitzu special one, which I'm not a huge fan of. Kai's is great. Wonderful expression to have. Like, I'm very afraid and just like losing Kai. Maybe for when he lost one of his lives. We have right here Jay's, which is very similar to the Forbidden Spinjitzu suit as well. And then for Cole, here's a unique one. It kind of looks like Lloyd's face, his normal face print from the Sons of Garmadon wave, but it's for Cole. And then last but certainly not least, we have Nia's face print, which is very similar to Cole's, except, of course, for Nia, it's like a little bit more of a happy, snarky face. And I like them all quite a bit. It's really cool that we're getting so many different face prints for these ninja in this design, because then if you're doing animation or something, you can really make them expressive, which I'm just a big fan of. Alright, so now here we have the Avatar Ninjas, and these are special because these are customized avatars for the ninja within the game of Prime Empire, but 3 of them came in arcade pods, these little pods that contain 1 ninja, or 2 ninja. They came with the digital ninja, with this one, for example, for Lloyd, and this cool one, which is the Avatar, Lloyd, and these 3 all came in those pods, and that's why they look so much better than these 3. These 3 are very much not specialized. You can see Cole and Nia especially don't really have leg prints. They just have black legs. Meanwhile, these are very cool and specialized. We got new hair mold colors for Kai and Jay there. Jay's hair in white looks awesome. But let's just not address the most amazing thing that's happened in Ninjago in years. Yes, we finally have Pink Zane. Oh my gosh, it had been years asking for this figure, hoping for it, and finally, here we are. We have Prime Empire Avatar Zane, even though this isn't actually Zane's avatar from what I've seen so far. You can see there's got a little bit of the rope printing on the back, and no, this is not Zane's original face. This is Zane's new face. So it doesn't look perfect. I'll go grab Zane's old face to switch it out just to show you guys what it looks like. So this is what the figure is definitely supposed to look like. Let me replace this head. Wow, that is Pink Zane right there. Let me throw the mask on real quick. And let this be a reminder that when we get new suits without the right modern face print, for example, the new Young Lloyd that's going to be coming out with the new Legacy sets, we don't need to complain about the face prints because this old Zane face print existed for years, just like Lloyd's existed for years. So if we want to, we can just replace the face print. I think it's a pretty great idea. So that's how Zane's looks. Very cool. Nia, of course, is a little bit of a diver. Cole is like a lumberjack. I think that's supposed to be something like Rocky Danger Buff. He's Disguise from Season 8, but I don't think that is done very well. Also, it's just a reuse of a torso print that had been used in LEGO City for a while. But these 3 are definitely the standouts of this selection, besides Pink Zane, of course. You can see Jay has light blue hands, and he's got the headband up there. Looks very cool. There's his back face print. Look at him singing. Oh my gosh. What an expressive face print. We don't often get face prints with a wide open mouth and closed eyes. Kai is like kind of the flaming shogun here. He's got his own unique torso print as well. Sleeveless. He's got like red markings over his eyes. Kind of reminds me of Harumi, which is very cool. And then on the back, of course, he's got the snake. Looks awesome, but with no alternate face print. And then for Lloyd, Lloyd is the biggest change in hair. Not even the same hairpiece. This is Lloyd with a gold mohawk. Who would have thought we'd see that? But he also has the half mask on over his face, but below it, you can see that Lloyd's face has a little bit of gold speckling around the sides. Looks maybe a little bit like facial hair, because also right below his chin, you can see it pretty well there. There is a little goatee. Let me use this right there. A little goatee under Lloyd. Look at Lloyd growing up, hit puberty. But yeah, Lloyd's also got golden legs and a nice shirt that is open in the front and on the back, of course. In typical Lloyd fashion, he's got a hood. So these are the Avatar suits. They're very, very interesting. I don't think they're very consistent, though. these three are definitely far superior to these three in terms of style, although this was indeed a wonderful figure to get, but I think these two are pretty disappointing. And now we have our final ninja suits that are actually a group, and these are the new Legacy suits. Legacy 2, you may call them, and they are, of course, a Legacy-fied version of the Tournament of Element suits, you can see, because they all have the sleeveless design, not just Cole this time, they all got it. They have their same base print and hairpiece that they've been using for a while. They got all that in there, but the torsos and leg prints are new. Interestingly, there is a spelling error on the torso. So in Ninjago text, this does not say master like it intended to. It says manter. They used the letter N instead of the letter S, which I think is very funny, and I know that they'll be correcting this with the next wave. So I'm excited to see if later releases of the sets that include these three have that corrected from manter to master, because that would that technically count as another variation? I really hope not, because I don't want to have to get duplicates of these and say one has manter, one has master. That would be pretty annoying. But I do think these are pretty cool designs. I think they represent Legacy pretty well. They're used in rebooted Legacy sets as well, which is interesting. Don't know if it works perfectly, but on the back you can see Cole's got some nice orange detailing. Jay, of course, little storm cloud, and Lloyd's got a new little dragon print, which is very cool. So I think these are very basic, but I think they're a good way to get the hair pieces, and I think they work pretty well. Alright, now here we have some special cases. Of course, we have two different Zanes here, although this one doesn't look too much like Zane, but I do think that the hands were a giveaway. Back when we didn't know who this Ice Emperor was, I was always of the opinion that it was Zane because of the hands and the eyebrows. You can see they're very similar shape to Zane's under that little ice crystal design on top of them. But this is a really, really great figure. You can see, of course, that he's got dual molded armor with the clear blue on his shoulder, but also the white main part. And same thing on the helmet. It's got dual molded on the inside to give it a nice icy look, which is very cool. Of course, he's also got the ice horns up here, which looks awesome, and a general ice print all over. Of course, he is the Ice Emperor. I would assume there's some ice on the guy. Here's the print under the torso, just so you guys can see it, and the nice little mask print on there. Although I kind of wish that that mask was molded, because in the show, the mask is not printed on the face like that. It is molded into the helmet, which would be cool to see, but I understand LEGO not making a new mold specifically for this one figure. But here is Snake Jaguar, the other Zane. You can see he's got Sons of Garmadon garb on his torso, and then he's also got silver legs, which makes me wonder, is that Zane's naked legs? That's kind of weird to think about. But besides that, I think it's a good figure. That's his SOG disguise, of course. He's got a nice angry face there, exclusive face print to this figure, actually. And he's got the possession armor, of course. Looks very cool. Sword holder in the back. And here we have an exclusive Wu. This is Teen Wu in old Wu's garb, except it's not the same one that we got back then. This is a new print. With a new, very generic-looking black belt, which I like a lot. That could be used for a lot of mocks. If you don't want to have a specific ninja suit one, that kind of just looks like a black belt, which is cool. And then over here, we have Nia Legacy. But not just Nia, this is Samurai X Legacy, and there were a bunch of new prints for this. So Nia's got her movie face, a little bit different there. You can see the torso has the phoenix symbol on it. And she's got nice plated armor on there. And she's also got little boot printing, which is very cool. And on the back, of course, you can see very similar. And then another similar face print. So these are special cases now. Of course, Teen Wu also does have that printing on the back. The Wu symbol. And this is just another way to get this really, really cool dual molded white and gold hairpiece. But now to the Golden Ninja. So here are all the Golden Ninja from throughout the years of Ninjago. Of course, we have the original Golden Ninja, Lloyd, from the Stone Warrior wave. Very, very awesome. Dark green details on there. It's got the straps and everything. Golden normal armor right there. Golden hands. He's got his own unique face print as well. Doesn't look too much like Lloyd. That was always my problem with that face print. But it still looks good. You can see He's got the same straps in the back. This is just a golden version of the kimono suit, which is very cool. Of course, that was from that wave. And then we have Legacy Golden Lloyd. So this is just a Legacy version of this suit. But of course, this one does have the Legacy mask, so he's got the dark green strap on his forehead. And he doesn't have armor, although he was released wearing a golden version of the new Secrets of the Forbidden Spinjitzu armor in a different set, but I don't think that makes it a different figure. So here we go. You can see the face print looks very cool. Got gold energy shooting out of his eyes. You can see it in the reflection there. On the other side, you can see no energy shooting out, but a little bit more of an angry gold face, which is different. And he's also got that same new or newish dragon print on the back. Looks very cool. So that is Legacy Golden Lloyd from, of course, the first Legacy wave. Here we have an exclusive Golden Kai. This is Golden Kai from Rebooted when the Ninja were in the Digiverse and were sharing the golden power and were to defeat the digital overlord. This is what they looked like. They had basically a golden version of the Rebooted suit, which I think looks very cool. He's got some red details on there, which is awesome. He does have the incorrect armor piece. It was kind of just thrown on there. And also the mask is not something that we saw, which you'll see again in just a second. But this is the incorrect mask, and the leg printing is also not accurate to what we saw in the figure in the show, but I don't really care because it still looks awesome. And also we got a new Kai face print. Oh my gosh, a classic Kai face print of him smiling? Unheard of, but I love that face print, and I think it's really, really great for Kai. And then to Zane, this is from the same situation that Kai was from. You can see Zane also on the back. It's got the same little buckles. I'll show you Kai's too, just to compare. Same kind of belt. Those two look pretty united together. I like that. And Zane actually does have accurate legs, because in the show, the legs were gold when they did this. They were just plain gold with no printing on them. Which I wish they did for Kai, but I don't think it's that difficult to get gold pants and put them on Kai to make him more accurate. But also, like I said, with some past stuff, he has the wrong face print, but that also doesn't change my opinion too much. But the main thing that both of these two figures are lacking is the half mask, the rebooted mask. We need that in gold if we want to accurately represent these figures, but we just don't have that yet. So that's a bit disappointing, and I'm a little bit sad that they didn't take the opportunity to not include this Legacy golden mask, but to include a half mask, because in this same wave of Legacy stuff, we are getting Ninja with the half mask, so I don't understand why they didn't get the half mask for that. It's a little disappointing, but besides that, I think it's a good figure. Torso print is really, really nice, and it's a very welcome addition to the Golden Ninja collection. And then up front here, we have Golden Wu from the Skybound collection. This is Wu wearing the armor of the first Spinjitzu Master, the Dragon Master armor. And if you notice on his right, that is also Wu. So that would never happen, because this little guy grows up to be this guy, but I just also wanted to show that this little Wu figure is technically another version of Wu. So look at him, little guy. Very cute. I like the use of that. But then also, for Wu here, you saw his Dragon Master suit earlier. The one with the normal Sons of Garmadon / movie mask. But this is different than that. All the prints are different. The only thing that's the same is the face print. And you can see, also, this is a really, really cool dragon face armor. If you look on his shoulder right there, there's a dragon's face with an eye, nostril, and teeth molded into it, which is awesome. It's got scales on the front, adding to the dragon effect right there. And then also, on the back, there are two studs for holding things, and you can see also the dragon mold is continued. And we also have the samurai helmet in gold, but with the new Legacy attachment. You can see the silver little crescent-shaped piece to give it a nice shape. And I'll show you what the printing looks like under this huge armor piece, which also kind of works like a half mask. You can see in front of the face. But that's what his face looks like. You saw that earlier, but that's the torso. And I think overall this is a very, very nice figure. I think that looks pretty awesome. And interestingly, we never did get this mask in gold with the white until now, but that actually really works to put on Dragon Master Wu. That kind of looks like a legacy version of Dragon Master Wu, which I think is just something cool to point out. But of course, the samurai armor is probably cooler than that. And to end off this collection, we have our final 2 Garmadons. That's right, there are only 2 Garmadons throughout all of these years that I'm covering in this video. And of course, we have the Sons of Garmadon, which is awesome. His name is in the title, so I just said Garmadon twice, but it's very awesome. We also have a legacy one, which is representing the 2012 Garmadon, but in a new updated style. So one of the coolest things about this Sons of Garmadon is that he has purple goop dripping from his torso because he's been resurrected, and also a bit of a skeleton showing through there, which is pretty morbid, kind of gross for Lego. Didn't expect that kind of thing. But of course I like it, the design looks great. You can see some silver reflection in there too on the upper torso, but it is also very, very reminiscent of the movie design because also they kept the helmet, you can see, and gave him a straight up movie face with that goofy looking expression. So I was never a huge fan of that. I always switched it out with a more angry expression. But besides that, I think this is a pretty passable figure. Very, very similar to the movie in many ways, though. But for this last one, this is a great Garmadon. Super, super angry face. Oh my gosh, he looks almost feral there. It doesn't look too much like Garmadon, I'd say. I mean, he just looks very, very angry. And also the face lines are much darker here, if you look closely, than the ones over here, which is interesting. But he includes this black helmet. Not gunmetal this time, black with the bone on it. And then he's also got, you can see the eyebrows a lot more prominently there. He's also got the original forearm piece in gunmetal once more. And on the back, just some little bit of back printing for detail. But these are some pretty simple Garmadon figures. I don't dislike them. I actually like the torso or the upper torso print on this one quite a bit. And this one is just a good representation of Legacy. So yeah, these are great figures. Look at those. Wow, that is a lot of figures. This was really fun to make. I'm very glad that I did this project and I split it into 3. It kind of makes it easier not having to watch one, like, 1.5 hour long video. It just kind of makes it easier. I'm glad I got to review all these, and I will be updating this more. I will do... every time I do a new update, it'll be about a year or maybe 2 between each other, so I can add on to this series and keep on doing them like this. So if you want to watch all of them over again, I can make a compilation or something. Tell me if you guys want that in the comments down below, if I should make one super long version editing these 3 together, which would be very cool. But yeah, actually you guys can see this side of my studio this time. Ninjago City, Star Wars stuff, Last Jedi Blade Runner posters. It's very fun. And then there's a bunch of Bionicle stuff up there. I realized I had never shown you guys that. Normally you guys see that. Yeah, pretty cool. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really glad you guys could be here for this, and hopefully I'll do more collection videos soon. If you guys want to see just more Lego stuff that I have, tell me in the comments down below. Give me some video suggestions. I've got a lot of time. I'm open to anything, and I'll be ready to make some stuff. Alright, see you around.